welcome to Factorio. So Factorio is not a game that I've featured on the channel yet, but a small number of you will know that I absolutely adore this game. It is so good and I have thousands of hours in it. Anyway, I wanted to run a series on this because it, with the latest version 0.17, I think it would be a good time to introduce it to some new people. So this is going to be sort of like a tutorial series, but mainly a let's play. But if you're new to the game, you'll be able to learn how to play it from this. So let's jump into it. So we're going to start a new game. Now I have already set up a map, so I'm going to get the import string. Okay, now I will put this string in the description, so if you want to play along on the same map and the same settings, you can definitely do that. But basically what I'm doing is I'm setting up the map in a way that encourages trains, basically. So the frequency of how often we find ores is set down a little bit lower on our main ones. And that's to encourage us to build a train network to go out and find new ores and bring them back to our base and stuff like that. We only have water in the starting area. I cut back on the trees. No cliffs because I hate cliffs. And the biters, I have slightly adjusted those. I reduced their expansion because I don't like the way how fast they expand towards your base, and I have cut down the evolution, so just making it a little bit easier. I don't want to focus primarily on biters, but I don't want to just completely cut them out of the game. And all of that is default. Oh, except for research queue. I have that enabled. Okay, so let's we'll preview the map. So this is our starting area, and we have a really nice selection of ores here. So we've got iron, copper, a little bit of stone there, coal, there's our water supply, and then off in the distance we have our oil and some uranium, and then you'll notice that we have various ores spread out quite a bit further. And then we have quite a large area before we interact with biters. So that should give us a bit of time. All right, here we are in Factorio 0.17. Now, if you're new to this version, you won't see this toolbar down here. You'll need to unlock construction bots before you get access to it. And is there a new button in here, or seems odd? Let's turn that off for now. Okay, cool. All right, so the first thing we're going to need to do is grab some iron. Where are we going to set this up? So we've got a burner mining drill that's going to run on some sort of a fuel like wood or coal. And then we have a stone furnace there. So I'm just opening my menu with E. That's my inventory, and this is everything I can craft in the various categories. Now I'm going to right click on a little bit of coal here. Or hold down right click, basically. Grab some of that. And I'm going to hold down control and then right click to put half the stack in there, and then left click to put everything I have in there. So while that's going, we are going to go out and try and find some rocks, I think. Some rocks to harvest some stone. We will need some wood, so we may as well chop down a few trees. Oh, I forgot to mention that I am playing with a couple of mods as well. It's not a full vanilla run. Is there no rocks around? Oh, here we go. Here's some rocks. God, it probably would have been easier just to mine some stone from by hand. Normally you have quite a few of these just around the base. So I like harvesting these because they give like 20 stone. And some of them you actually get some coal in them. Like this big one over here that we're going to check out. So there's 37 coal and 37 stone in there, and then we'll head back to base because the miner and the stone furnace is most likely out of fuel. But while we're heading back to base, we will make a bunch of stone furnaces now, which you can see take half a second to craft, and they take 5 stone each. So I'm just going to right click on that to craft 5, and you can see down in the bottom left our crafting queue. And if you want to cancel it, you can click on those down there. But we're just going to use up all our stone to create those stone furnaces. Yep, and that is out of fuel. And we do have some iron plate. So basically this was, it was mining the iron. And then you'll see, let's turn on this so we can see the arrow. This is the output of it. So it was outputting directly into the stone furnace. And then the stone furnace burns some sort of a fuel to smelt the iron ore into iron plates, which we need to make mining drills, which we now have. Just going to put those, actually go down there. All right, and now we are going to create a little loop here. Oh, I didn't need to do that. I'm just going to put 1 in there. So what this one's going to do is just going to be mining the coal, and then it'll feed it into this one, and then it's going to use this as fuel. So this one's going to start mining coal and feed it into that one. So we create this constant loop that will just generate coal for us, and we can use that to power all of our infrastructure here. So I'm going to put half a stack into there, half a stack into there. We'll get some more iron so we can expand our production here. And while we're waiting for that, we might cut down a few more trees because we're going to need quite a bit of wood for power poles. Okay, and we can hold down control and left click on these to pull out the resources in them. So we just gained a little bit of coal there. Might actually put this down on the hotbar for now, seeing as we're going to be grabbing it a lot and putting it into our infrastructure. So we can make another 2 mining drills. So they actually take a stone furnace as one of the crafting elements, but they also need iron as well. So now we're going to increase our iron production here. So I'm just holding down control and dragging left mouse button over those. Remember not to do it over the mining drills because you'll collect their fuel. So it's okay to do it on this because that's exactly what it's for. But yeah, just make sure you only do it on the stone furnaces. So all it does is it pulls out the iron plates. It won't touch the fuel. All right, let's keep expanding our production here. We'll try and ramp it up. We're going to need a lot of iron to get this going. Okay, so one of the mods I'm using is called Bottleneck, and it's this light that's down in the bottom left-hand corner of all the structures. Green means that everything's running okay. Yellow means it can't... I think yellow means it can't output, and red means it can't input, so it doesn't have any resources to craft. Let's just test that. Maybe it's the other way around. Yeah. Okay. So yellow means it doesn't have any resources to actually like use to craft with. All right. Now let's yeah, actually let's make 10 of those. I think that'll be all right. So we're going to need, oh, you're out of fuel. We need to ramp up our coal loop here. And we'll just rotate this one around. So now they're just feeding each other in a big loop there. And we've got a few more. So I want to set up maybe 3 for copper. 3 should be heaps. Early game, we don't need a great deal of copper. It's mainly iron we're going to need. And I might expand this a little bit more, seeing as we've got the miners for it. So I'm just pressing R on it to rotate it. And we've got one more, so I think we might, what's that? It's going to be 7. I think we'll make 8. So... oh, damn, we need more stone. I should have set up some stone mining. Okay, let's set up probably just 2 miners would be enough, and we'll just make a wooden chest so we can keep making these furnaces. So to pick up something, you just hold down right click on it, just like you're mining something. Okay, so now stone mining is automated. We don't need to worry about that. We'll need to keep refueling it though, but that's all right. I would like to increase the production of our coal because it's going to, we're going to need quite a bit of coal to keep this infrastructure running here. So let's make, I'd like to make 2 more if I could. I'm going to need some more stone for that. So you can see it's got to make like the gears and you know, all the intermediate products that it needs to actually craft the final structure. So so if we have a look there, it needs 3 iron plate, 3 iron gear wheels, and 1 stone furnace. So it actually makes the stone furnace using the stone that I had. And in the intermediate products, it actually creates the iron gear wheels using the iron plates as well. So it's pretty cool. It does that automatically. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of copper. We have access to making electronic circuits. So what we can do with that is actually get some electricity being made. So let's make an offshore pump. We're going to need probably 2 boilers, I think. So we're going to need some more stone for that. And then the ratio of boilers to steam engines is 1 to 2. Well, it's 2 steam engines to 1 boiler. So we're going to need 4 of those. And then we will also need some pipes. Let's make 1 underground pipe, and actually that'll probably do it. And then we're going to need some power poles. A bunch of power poles. And we're going to need a lab. And then some automation science packs. So we'll need 10 of those. So if we press T to open up our research tab, we have all this research that we can do, which is really cool. The first one you should always get is automation, which gives you access to assembly machine 1s and long-handed inserters. The main reason you want it is for the assembly machines, because they can actually craft stuff for you, so you don't need to do it, which is the name of the game. So we're going to start the research for that. And obviously nothing's going to happen because we don't have any labs yet, but that's fine. Let's continue making our infrastructure stronger. Keep collecting everything, so we're going to need it. All right, so we should have everything now. We've got, yep, we've got the offshore pump. Where am I going to put this? I'm going to go this way. Okay, so the water needs to travel straight through the boiler, and the top output is for the steam. So we're just going to plop these 2 here. You can chain them together, so the water will travel from the pump straight through both of these boilers. Grab our steam engines. And then they also need, they're giving me a warning saying they need electricity. So they all need to be connected on the same, well, they need to be connected to a electrical network. And then the boilers are complaining that they don't have any fuel. So we can manually fuel them like that. And now we're generating electricity. So you can see in the status panel on the right there that the steam has gone all the way up in all 4 of these, and yeah, we're producing electricity. Let's bring the electricity back to our base. So if you just hold down left mouse while you're walking, it'll automatically stretch out the power poles as far as they can go, which makes this a lot easier. All right, that looks good. And then we will plop down our lab, and we will put our science in there. And we can see up in the top right hand corner that automation is currently being researched. All right, let's do a little bit of maintenance on all the machines. Collect all our goodies. And we're probably going to need some belts and some inserters, so we may as well start crafting those up. And probably some iron chests as well. Oh, I would like to get some miners, some mining drills. some electric miners. I want to move away from the coal powered ones as soon as possible because they're a little bit limiting. Basically the miner will only mine what it's sitting on, but the electric miners, they have a larger footprint and they can mine outside of their footprint as well. So they have access to well, what the? Oh, I must have taken all the fuel out of them. I'm an idiot. It was odd that they all turned off at the same time. There we go. Automation is done. So next research. Let's go into military. So we're going to need 15 science packs for that. So we get access to better guns. All right. So before we go ahead and craft those, I'm actually going to set up a machine to do it for us. Just going to cancel all these belts and everything. We can pick it up again later. I just want to get some of these machines being crafted. Probably some mining drills as well so we can automate the power. And then let's go with some more inserters and then some more belts. And we can get rid of that now. Just putting these on the toolbar so it's a little bit quicker. Okay, so we want this assembly machine to craft red science for us. So it needs, it takes 5 seconds to craft and it uses 1 copper plate and 1 iron gear wheel. So we will need another one of these machines making iron gear wheels. And we will just feed that into there and then let's put down 2 chests there. This one we will put some copper and we need some iron in there. They need some electricity obviously. You can select things using Q. It's like think of it as like a eyedropper tool. So whatever you're hovering over, you can press Q on it and it'll select that item out of your inventory. And if you don't have any, it gives you a nice little warning. There we go. Okay, so that's being automated now. Science is being automated. These have stopped. So let's collect the fuel out of those and fill all of these up. And let's get coal being mined automatically. So we got some electric mining drills here, which I want to put on the toolbar because they are going to be something we use a lot. Okay, so I think we'll just go right here. That looks good. So you can see the green area is how far they can reach with their mine. And I guess technically what you could do is like if you wanted to make it the most efficient use of your power is to separate them like this, because then they would have access to everything. But if you, I like compacting them fairly tightly so you get more on a belt in such a small area. So we're going to grab some coal here and we're going to run it down to the power plant. So the power plant can automatically feed itself. So we don't have to manually do that. Let's get a power pole if I can. There we go. So now coal's being mined for us. Okay, and then we just need to set up a couple of inserters. So now they'll automatically fill themselves with coal when they run out. So that'll be good. All right, we got military finished. So that'll give us access to the submachine gun, shotgun, and shotgun shells. Let's research, what are we gonna need? Possibly steel. Steel's fairly quick. Only takes 5 seconds. It's 50 science packs, so it only takes 5 seconds. We could do lights. I guess that's probably good considering YouTube's most likely making nighttime really dark. All right, let's make some more stone furnaces. We're going to need a bunch. Let's put those back down here. Okay, so I'd like to get some electric mining drills as well because I want to start automating this process as well, the mining and smelting of iron and copper. So we can start automating the production of circuits and all the stuff we're going to need. We can start building the smelting array, I guess. I think 12 will be all right. There is a certain ratio of like how many stone furnaces you should have in a column due to how many items you can fit on a belt, basically. But for our purposes, we just want to get something working. So that's where the iron plates are going to come out. And this is where the raw iron and coal is going to be sitting, and we need some more iron. And I've just realized that we won't be able to do this straight away because we need a little bit of research. Need some more inserters as well. All right, start placing these miners. Let's leave a little bit of space in between that. Okay, lights is finished. What is... I think it's this, isn't it? Some of the researchers have changed in this version, so that's why I'm double checking. The same with the recipes and stuff like that. Where is it? Logistics. Okay, this is it. So logistics will give us access to underground belts and splitters, which is crucial to making anything work, basically. So let's get that. And let's double check our resources here. Yeah, so we need some more. Need some more resources in there. How's this going? We don't need that much. Don't have a great deal of belts. Actually, that doesn't need to go that far. Okay, so we've got two belts splitting roughly in the middle there. And once we have access to splitters, you'll see why we're doing that. But I'm just going to set up the rest of this, which we need more belts for. And I think we're going to need more iron for that. Awesome, everything's full, ready to go. Let's get power poles set up here. I think what we'll do is we'll just run them through here for now. When we get some better research, we'll have access to better electrical poles that have that cover a lot more range and that type of thing. So that will be very handy. Now we need to connect this to the main network, obviously. So let's continue this line through here. There we go. So the miners are working. We've got some belt now. We're still waiting on the logistics research, but that's fine. And we do have some inserters now, so we can, well, we might be able to finish this off. Should have just enough. Yep, one left. So let's get some of those crafting as well. Okay, and we are going to need some coal coming up here as well. So let's mark that. And I think we will... and take this a little bit higher. So there's going to be a splitter there, and then we're going to have another splitter. Runs up through there. No, I think that was right, actually. Yep. All right, come on, logistics. We are waiting for you. I could have like increased the production of this, but for now, I think it'll be all right. It will keep us going. All right, we have access to lights as well. Hey, there we go. Now we've got underground belts and splitters, so let's make some of those. And for now, I think we're just gonna plop down some lights there, just because that's where we have access to. get rid of that crap. I want the underground belts and the splitters first, and then you can do your inserters. I want to get this done. All right, so this is going to be underground belts, and this is going to be splitters. So we want to go like that. So one of the mods I have on is long reach, and it allows me to access things as far as I can see. Whereas in the vanilla game, you have to walk like right up next to the machine. Although in 0.17, they actually extended the range a little bit further, which is really good. Because it was really, really small before, like it would have to be like right here. But now I think you can stand back pretty far and access things, but it's still, because I've been spoiled with the mods, I need to I need to keep using it just because I can't play any other way now. All right, so that is going to go into there, and then what we're doing here is we're splitting the coal. So part of it's going under the other belt here and continuing on, and the other part is coming up here, and we're going to split it into both of these lanes that go around the other side, but we're also going to split the iron on the other side. So what that's going to do is put half of the belt will be iron, half the belt will be coal, and which is both of what this array needs. So we're just going to get that going. And then we will have iron being smelted automatically. Automation is the key. How is this going? You could probably do with a little bit more. All right, let's give it some power. And then put some iron in there. Copy the recipe. Okay, so now we've got two machines doing it. There we go. So now these guys are pulling the iron from this chest, making the iron gear wheels, and then they're outputting into this chest, and they're grabbing at and making the red signs, but obviously that's not going to do anything with the red signs because it doesn't have an output. Okay, now we have a full belt of iron to play with. So I think what we're going to do is create a mini bus just to start creating some things we're going to be using, like iron gear wheels. I want to reduce the amount of crafting we're doing. I'm going to automate it as much as we can, basically. Okay, so I did not see that coming. This is another mod that I'm using. It's called Auto Deconstruct, and basically it marks a miner for deconstruction when it has mined everything. There's only 33 there, which is annoying. Guess we're gonna have to go on the other side. Okay, so we want to set up another one of these machines to do copper. So what we can do is hold down Control and press C for copy, and we can actually take a blueprint of this. So that should align pretty nicely. Yep. So we'll just plop that down, and now it brings up ghost images. And later on, when you have robots can actually build this for you. So you can just place blueprints everywhere, and you don't even have to build anything. It's really, really cool. But we're primitive at the moment, so what we're gonna have to do is press Q on everything. and actually build it ourselves. But it gives you a nice layout so you know where to place everything. Need a lot more iron. What I should have done is actually set up some things that we're going to need. So what I'm doing here is limiting the chest. So I'm reducing how much stuff can actually fit in there because I don't want to tie up too many resources into crafting something that I'm not going to be using that much of, basically. Well, I am going to use a lot of it, but I don't need like 4,800 belts at one point. Don't have any splitters. We do have underground belt though. I don't have any normal belts. We are making some though. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm setting up production for gear wheels. And one for belt, which is going to help us out a lot. We've got some splitters now. I'll go put those down. And I think we got some miners left, so I may as well put those down on the copper because that's what we're going to be working on next. And then we can automate some production of the green circuits. How do I want to handle this? So if you have a look at the right hand side, you can see what the miner has access to in this location. So it has 11,000 copper and 336 iron. What happens if I put that all onto the one belt? The smelters will try and smelt it, but they can only do one type at a time, and they can end up clogging up the belts with stuff that the smelters won't want to deal with. So it's a lot better to separate them. But what we could actually do is you can put a splitter down and you can actually filter a certain type of resource to one of the sides. So we could put copper, all the copper will go on this side and everything else will go on this side. So we could do that, but I don't want to screw around with that sort of stuff. So I think what we're going to do is just move our array back a little bit and then fail miserably at placing them. One belt. And that's what happens when you place the wrong thing on a ghost image. It gets rid of it. And we're missing 2 inserters. I'll have to make some of those. How are we going for belts now? Can I actually get this running? There we go. Okay. So now we're making gears. So the gears are going into this chest, but you can see this inserter is actually picking them up straight away and putting them into here because this recipe requires gears and iron plate. But what will happen is when this gets full, then this one will keep producing and putting it in the chest. So we could eventually get a buffer of both. Later on, what we can do is actually use circuits, and we can actually make some logic here to tell the inserter not to pull out of this chest until it's full or something. So then that way we can make sure we always have some gears in here to grab. But for now, I think belts are going to be more important anyway. Okay, awesome. Do we get our, yeah, we've got our inserters, so we'll go finish that off. Otherwise I'll forget about it. There we go. Okay, that's done. Coal is coming down. That's good. We're going to need some more miners. Let's get those made. And this is why I like the long reach mod. So I can just do that. All right, still waiting for our miners because we're making bloody circuits by hand. We will be fixing that as soon as possible. All right, let's get these hooked up. Now we actually need to fill a yellow belt with ore. You need 30 miners, 15 on each side. And obviously we don't really need that much production, but if you wanted an entire belt fully compressed, you would need, well, that's a yellow belt anyway. There's different tiers of belts that move faster, and obviously they have more throughput, so you need more miners to fill them. But yeah, if you wanted a full yellow belt, you would need 15 on each side, 30 miners. And science has stopped. Oh, actually this is, yeah, we should probably limit that. Okay, so science is finished there. Let's get some turrets and walls because, oh god, this one's finished as well. Let's top everything up. Okay, basically what happens is you can see this red stuff on the map here. This is our pollution. And you can see it's quite dense in the middle here. And you'll see the edges flickering and stuff, and that's because things like trees absorb pollution, but the natives also absorb it. And they turn it into threat. They generate threat based on pollution. So we need to be careful of that. Do we have access to a radar? Okay, let's make a radar, because that will open up the map a little bit further, and it'll also start scanning a bigger area for us to see. So you can see this sort of lighter color here. That's how much I can actually see. So I can zoom in map mode. So that's how far I can see. And the radar will make that a lot bigger. And I'm also using a mod that gives me research that I can do, which will increase that range, which I think is really, really cool. So let's plop that down, and now we can see a lot further. And you should be able to see there'll be one little square where it'll start scanning. It's not doing it. Okay, let's get walls. That's going to be useful. And then I want to pick up that radar search, that radar research. So this one increases the actual range, and this one increases the scanning speed. Oh, actually, before we do that, let's remove those two from the queue. Let's do steel, because we're going to have to start smelting steel soon. All right, very cool. All right, so there's our copper array, and that is smelting up very nicely. And I'm just going to do something completely unnecessary and put that down there like that. All right, but I think that's a pretty good spot to stop. We have automation set up, ready to go, ready to start making things in bulk, which is going to be cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, don't forget to lead your targets, and I'll see you next time.